I'm Matthew Malcolm with American Vineyard Magazine, reporting to you here today from Lodi, California, which hosted the U.S. Sustainable Wine Growing Summit. This is Allison Jordan. She's the Executive Director of the California Sustainable Wine Growing Alliance, who hosted this event. This is the third event.
Yes, it's great to be with you. Thank you so much for coming, and we're so happy to be here in Lodi. Our first summit was in Sonoma back in 2019, and we did a virtual one online. We were supposed to do it in New York for the second in 2021, and then here we are back together again in 2024. This is a partnership between California, New York, Oregon, and Washington, organizations that are all very active in this area of sustainable wine growing.
And we were grateful to be an additional partner for you this year as well on that. So thank you for having us. It's been a great program. We've had people from all over the nation and even international folks coming in. It's just been a really wonderful time to get together and talk about, what sustainability looks like in the future. And because things have changed, over time, and there's all these new certifications out there. But I wanted to talk about yours. It's been long-standing for some time.
Yeah.
Because you certify both vineyards and wineries. Tell us about it.
That's right. And well, first of all, we're an organization that's really dedicated to promoting sustainable wine growing and then communicating leadership and sustainability around the world. California vintners and growers are so committed. And again, this sort of goes back to the idea of self-assessment and learning about how you can improve practices. And CSWA, the Alliance, provides tools and resources and education and tailgates, etc. So that's ongoing. But in 2010, we launched Certified California Sustainable Wine Growing, and that is a certification, as you say, for vineyards and wineries. In 2010, that was first launched, and in 2017, we updated it to allow wine to be certified. So it means that both the winery and 85% or more of the grapes are from certified vineyards. And because we're here in California where there are lots of great programs, we also recognize some of the existing California programs like Lodi Rules, SIP Certified, Napa Green, Regenerative Organic Certification. The programs that really embrace this idea of environment, social equity, and economic viability all being really important pillars of sustainability. And I'm really proud to say that we have 85% of California wine made in a certified sustainable winery. And when you look at all of our California programs, it's now over 65% of the vineyard acreage certified.
That's pretty exciting, especially in just, 14 years.
Exactly.
Right? So can you tell us, growers and, vintners that want to get more involved that maybe aren't certified currently, how can they go about, reaching that, and what kind of, what's entailed in all of that?
Well, I would definitely encourage you to go to sustainablewinegrowing.org. It has all the information about how to get certified, step-by-step processes, who to contact, the application, all of those things. But what it entails is basically that you're going through an annual self-assessment using the California Code of Sustainable Wine Growing. And then you have a third-party auditor that comes and makes sure that you're scoring yourself accurately, you're meeting certain required practices, we call them prerequisites. You also have an overall score threshold that is above what's needed, and then you're measuring to manage, really importantly. So on the winery side, that's things like water, energy use efficiency, and also greenhouse gas emissions. And on the vineyard side, it's things like water and applied nitrogen. And then we also have some restrictions on certain crop protection materials, but most importantly, really focus on integrated pest management. So there are requirements around that. And then the last thing is, in addition to meeting all these high standards, you also have to be basically looking at your own operation. Sustainability is local, so it depends what type of operation you have, what region you're in, and what you focused on in the past. That will help decide what's the priority, what's the focus going forward. And the auditor's verifying all those things, so including that continuous improvement.
Now, lastly, is there a cost associated with the certification? And, what are your thoughts as far as, going in the way things are right now in the wine grape industry? There's a struggling market, and growers and vintners, that may not be the first thing on their mind. They may be thinking more of the economically sustainable part of it. What would you have to share in that regard?
I think you really have to look at the full business value of certification and of adoption of sustainable practices. There are those business benefits, things like reducing inputs, which in turn can reduce costs, being more efficient, increasing productivity, attracting, retaining employees. It's really expensive to to attract and train new employees. So like keep the ones you have, reducing risk. There's so many great business benefits. And then when you also look in some of the things that we learned today from Dr. Listache, some of the trends we're seeing, especially those younger consumers of legal drinking age that we're trying to attract to help introduce them to wine, it's so abundantly clear that these are issues they care about. Our retailers are asking about it. So I think it's one of those things you have to really look at. Yes, there are costs, of course, because there's time, resources, and effort involved. But at the same time, you have to be able to looking at those benefits as well.
Right. So this is a long-term investment, especially to stay viable in the future. So thank you so much for putting on this great event and in your ongoing programs to help growers and vintners in the same realm, just being more sustainable. So thank you very much. Read more about these things in American Vineyard Magazine. I'm Matthew Malcolm, CaliforniaAgNet.com.